All right, picture this. You're a ticket manager and it feels like you're juggling flaming swords. The empty seats are glaring at you on live TV. Meanwhile, finance is breathing down your neck for more revenue. But if you crank prices too high, the fans bite back. And don't forget those early bird members who expect their loyalty to mean something. Plus, there's always someone on a resale site offering your tickets at a cheeky discount or on hot games, ripping the upside away. But at the heart of it all, there's this question. Is it fair that two fans could sit in the same section, see the same match, but pay very different prices? That pain point is what sport managers are navigating, and you see it play out whenever something like FIFA's dynamic pricing experiment for the World Cup hits the news. There's this massive debate over whether letting prices rise and fall on the fly helps or hurts loyal fans. And honestly, it all comes down to trust, transparency, basic community rules.
Yeah, and for fans, those community rules cut deep. I remember this one time back in London. I was trying to get a last-minute ticket to see Arsenal play Man United. Thought I'd found a deal online. Then, right at checkout, the price jumped. Felt a bit like the rug got yanked, and suddenly I wasn't so sure if I even wanted to go. That personal confusion actually kicked off my curiosity about the whole arena of fair ticket pricing. And honestly, I don't think I'm alone in feeling that way, or in wanting some real consistency or upfront honesty about what you pay versus what your mate in the next seat paid 5 minutes earlier.
Oh, absolutely. Even if you look at what we discussed about the Melbourne Cricket Club in a previous episode, that predictable experience and perceived fairness is so crucial for clubs and fans alike. A single PR misstep and you can lose trust you spent years building. So, for today, we're not just talking about theory. We'll dig into real models, hacks, and the kind of playbook that managers actually use to keep seats full, and complaints. Well, not zero, but way down.
Let's break down the toolkit first. You've basically got 3 approaches. First, static pricing. One price, set before the season, no matter if it's the big Saturday derby or a drizzly midweek against a bottom-placed team. Easy to explain, good for community games, but it's pretty blunt. Then there's variable pricing. This is where you set, say, A, B, and C games ahead of time, so your blockbuster gets a different price from your mid-table clash. Predictable, families love it, and it's clear. But if you get something unexpected, like a team suddenly flying up the ladder, you're locked in.
And then dynamic pricing enters the arena. This is where prices can move in season as you get new info, opponent form, last-minute surge, or even the weather forecast. The San Francisco Giants, for example, tested this with a slice of their stadium back in 2009. Results? Attendance up by about 20% and a tidy $500,000 extra. The next season, they took it club-wide and, well, let's just say MLB execs started paying attention. So dynamic's not some theory, it's real. But you've got to match the tool to the week, right? Like, it's fantastic for filling those weird pockets on a school night. But you can't just dump it everywhere and expect fans to thank you.
Exactly. Static still wins if you want policy-led pricing, maybe for equity reasons. Variables sort of your trust engine for families and schools who want to know what they're in for. But if your demand is all over the place, like weird spikes, late surges, dynamic helps get the last 10% of seats filled. It all comes back to using each model where it fits, not just because it sounds modern or clever.
Now, let's ditch the magic crystal ball. Pricing only works if you're honest about what you can measure. Clubs love to guess, but honestly, stick to the data you can actually see by the day before the match. Here are the biggies. Who you're playing, like an old rivalry pulls numbers, and weirdly, matches where fans expect to win get more buzz than 50-50 battles. Proper English studies back that up. Day and time matter. A rainy Wednesday night. Pass. But Saturday? Hello, full house. And the weather. A sunny forecast equals better sales, but baking hot or pouring rain crushes walk-ups. There's a reason baseball attendance models have factored that in for decades.
Seat quality too. I think that's one people forget. Dynamic pricing is best for those single leftover seats or the odd corners no one wants. Don't just shift the whole section up or down, target those awkward spots. And oh, this one's big. The first price fans, see? That's your anchor. Psychologically speaking, if you swing too much, they'll sense something's off. Incremental moves. And with the resale market, just take it as a signal, not a steering wheel. Yeah, prices might trend on secondaries, but if you chase every bump, you'll exhaust yourself and antagonize the fans.
Exactly. It's like playing Clue with half the cards missing. you'll just guess yourself into a corner. Use what's visible: opponent, timing, weather, seat quality, and a pulse check on resale trends, not every blip. That's how you avoid those classic pricing mistakes sport managers always dread.
Okay, let's talk dynamic micromanagement, the good kind. The key is limits, guardrails, not wide open highways. Set a price move band, maybe just plus or minus 5 to 10% for a given section. And please, never ever surprise your loyal members with a price hike. Protect their spots with no change windows, or just declare member zones off limits for dynamic changes entirely.
And let's get mega practical. That Colorado Athletics story, when they switched to a controlled dynamic approach for their football tickets, with dashboards and real rules about which signals could trigger a move, they earned an extra $1.52 million in one season. Not by being wild, by being organised and transparent. In Australia, being upfront about total prices matters just as much. There was that notorious drip pricing fine for Dendy Cinemas last year. Sports tickets could be next, so put those full, all-in prices up front, don't hide fees till the end, or you risk a regulatory whack and a PR headache.
So, if you keep the price move small, communicate which sections won't change, like family zones and member seats. Protect your fans from surprises. Then dynamic pricing stops being the villain. Instead, it quietly boosts your yield, with complaints staying flat. Total price up front, limits in place, that's the winning combo.
But cue suspense music. Here's where a lot of clubs mess up. Dynamic pricing absolutely backfires if you cross those trust red lines. First, shocking people with a day of price spike and no warning. Bad move. Next, touching member seats or raising family section prices. You'll have parents storming customer service. Third, if your headline price ends up higher than what's on resale sites, well, fans will absolutely post those receipts and the embarrassment goes viral. And the root of it is fairness. People only accept price changes if it feels like a genuine response to real demand, not just chasing every cent.
This is where those classic behavioral economic studies come in, right? Kahneman and his crew found ages ago that people actually punish prices that feel opportunistic, even if, technically, the price makes sense. Recent FIFA ticketing dramas prove it. Fans don't just want the lowest number, they want a process that's legible and predictable. Melbourne Victory even copped heat when they hiked prices with no warning for what felt like a standard fixture. Social media shredded them for it. One PR slip drowned out a season of quieter, well-run moves.
Exactly. So remember, let fans in on the policy. Publish your rules, bans, caps, and what's sacred. And if you ever have to hit one of those fairness lines, freeze prices, flip your message, remind everyone what's included with their ticket. Fans can forgive a lot if they feel it's fair and above board, but a single sneaky move? That's how you lose the room, possibly for years.
Honestly, I reckon variable pricing doesn't get enough love. Most clubs, most weeks, rely on preset game tiers and a few fairness guardrails. It's what lets you plan, communicate, and keep complaints low. That Premier League away cap at 30 hours, for example. Away attendance actually climbed since they set that limit. It's almost poetic. A simple, clear rule, published early, is what builds trust and keeps supporter groups returning week after week.
Totally. And it's more than just headline numbers. If you set out A, B, and C games before the first whistle, families know where they stand, clubs have a nice revenue baseline, and you still have wiggle room. Like, you could always overlay little micro-dynamic tweaks, like nudging up the last corner seat for a big match. But if you stay transparent, nobody really minds. And those fairness guardrails. Member guest windows, family section caps, one all-in price at every turn. That's what gets you high renewals and low grumbles, even as you edge up yields inside a tier.
Advanced notice is everything here. Publish clear rules, repeat them, and stick to them. Fans hate surprises way more than they hate a price they saw coming weeks ahead. Do the basics well, and the tweaks almost slip by unnoticed, or dare I say, even welcomed.
All right, let's wrap with the playbook. Practical, weekly, and actually doable. Step 1. Publish your game tiers and 3 non-negotiables before the season kicks off. Family zones? Solid as a rock. Member areas? Protected, maybe with a short no-change window for all you spreadsheet lovers. And absolutely every channel shows the real, all-in price from the start. No drip pricing tricks. By the way, Dendy Cinemas got fined for that. And in the US now, the FTC's all-in ticket rule covers sports too. This is global.
Then, 2 days out, review those game drivers. Who's playing? What's the weather saying? How's the heat map selling by section? Set your move ranges, again just a few percent up or down, only for tricky leftover seats. The day before, have a quick scroll through resale platforms. But treat that data as backup, not gospel. On game day, small tweaks only, and hammer home what will not change. After the final whistle, review the numbers, attendance, yield, complaints per thousand, and see how many protected seats you filled. If trouble ticks up, tighten things up next time.
Like my favourite board game nights, transparency matters. If your club's game keeps changing rules without warning, people just stop playing. All they want, rules up front and a sense that those rules get enforced. That's what keeps them coming back. All right, Rudy, that's about it for this week's playbook. Next time, we'll dig into another sport business dilemma. But for now, thanks for the great banter. And everyone, keep those questions coming.
Yeah, cheers, Regine. And thanks to everyone tuning in, whether you're in the nosebleeds, the boardroom, or like me, haunting the resale tabs at 2 a.m. See you next time on Sportcast with Rudy. Goodbye, Regine. Goodbye, folks.